Hello, everyone. This is Ryan with the January 13th, week of January 13th programming. Our announcements this week, you're going to hear this coming up with more details to come. We got our Sadie Hawkins Throwdown Saturday, February 15th. You may recognize that date as the day after Valentine's. And for those of you that know what Sadie Hawkins tradition is, that's when the ladies ask the guys to a dance. So this is going to be a partner WOD on the day after Valentine's Day. And so ladies are going to ask guys to be their partners, or if they're so inclined, another lady to be their partner in this workout. More details to come on what exactly you'll be doing in the workouts that day. But expect a little friendly competition, so make sure you pick the right partner. All right, so Monday, we've got 3 tests this week for level method. The first 2 will come on Monday. Our deadlift test this week, very similar to the front squat test we had the last week. The heavier you're going, the less reps you're doing. The lighter you stay, the more reps you're doing. We may go a little longer than 12 minutes on this, but that's perfectly fine. The workout afterwards is another test. It's our mile run test. So if you're doing the full mile run, that's what you'll do for your workout that day. It's a very difficult test. It's a tough, fast mile run. Otherwise, there's a 200-meter and a 400-meter option as well, making sure you get that 400-meter split time done before you actually try to attempt the full mile run. If you are doing less than a mile run, what you're going to do is do your 200 or 400 meter test, rest a minute, and then complete a 400 meter run to round out your workout that day. At the white, we have continuous run options. So just trying to keep moving for a certain amount of time or certain distance to get on the map that day. And we're still going to do some cardio afterwards in our extra credit, different moderate or different intensities on the rowing, and do some seated straddle stretching, something that we can all benefit from. And practice our inversions for Tuesday. Our vitality workout that day is a lot of cardio. So 3 rounds of 2 efforts at these 4 movements. So that's back-to-back efforts. So 45 seconds of running man, 45 seconds of lateral running man. You get faster and more explosive to increase the intensity with that. And then we're doing a little twist on the break dancer, which normally shows up in our confidence workouts. We're going to take it to a vitality that day, and we're going to stay on one side for our break dancer for a full 45 seconds, and then we'll twist to the other side for 45 seconds. So a little twist on the break dancer there. Single arm kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls. Now keep in mind that the sumo deadlift high pull, we're always really emphasizing high elbows on that. That's a little bit different in the sumo deadlift high pull, so we stay a bit moving a little bit more comfortably through it, but we do increase weight to increase that intensity there. Same with the goblet squat and wall ball push with the med ball there. So this is basically breaking the wall ball down into 2 components to really focus on those explosive hips to get to drive the ball to the target, and keeping the ball high in front of your face so you have good positioning the whole time. And a little shoulder cool down with the kettlebell bottoms up press for the cash out there. Tuesday, very unique workout that day. So the strength portion is a full 24 minutes. And you're going to use that almost as a warm-up for the workout there. So we'll do some handstand push-up practice. We'll go into some core work and balance practice there. And then we're going to do some jump rope practice and footwork practice. 8 minutes of each of those, and by that time you should be fully warm. To get into this workout, we're still going to focus on quality. So even the first 24 minutes are going to focus on quality. The last 10 minutes of the workout today are going to focus on quality as well that day. So not sure how many times you're going to get through this, because you're going to slow this down enough to make sure you're getting good reps in with the walking lunges, and we have some kettlebell variations on that. A little variation on our single-legged deadlift and ring rows. So working on lots of strength in the ring rows there. Extra credit, bottoms up press that day in CrossFit, and then banded overhead tricep extensions for the back of the arms. We'll practice barbell cycling, getting ready for our API test on Wednesday. So our commitment workout that day is 4 static efforts, 45 seconds work, 45 seconds of rest. So we're not hitting full 10s. By the time we're done with our 4 static efforts, we'll be at a 10. But we need to dial back just slightly each 45-second effort, since they're back to back to back to back, to make sure we keep the intensity high through all 4 efforts. Renegade row, go heavy with those dumbbells so you limit the number of push-ups you're doing that day. Forward back pedal, getting back and forth very quickly. Kettlebell good mornings, going heavy if you're comfortable with that. And then the kettlebell crossbody lunge, something very similar we're doing for some of the people in CrossFit that day. It's a great CDC movement there where you're holding an asymmetrical hold with the kettlebell. So one hand overhead, one hand at your side for that lunge, and then you'll switch halfway. Side lying hip abduction to get into the glutes there for our cash out. Wednesday, API test. Already let the cat out of the bag. So little changes to the API test. At the blue, purple, and brown is what you've been used to. If you've done this test, you know how many reps you've gotten in, then you know whether blue, purple, and brown is appropriate for you. And for most cases, it is probably appropriate for you. Our community is very strong in this test. If you're not quite there yet, we've got an alternative test, still doing wall balls, but at a lighter weight, kettlebell swings instead of the cleans, step-ups instead of the box jumps, dumbbell push presses instead of the barbell, and bodybuilders instead of burpees. Lots of strategy goes into that. Your coaches are going to help you that day figure out what the right strategy is for you. And then we'll cool down after that and work on our kipping pull-ups. So this is very similar to the API test. Our Wednesday HIIT class is going to be a minute of each of these movements, just like in the API test, but one less movement, but 2 extra rounds. So you're actually in the end doing more work, but your rest comes faster to make it through this. So wall balls, box jumps, dumbbell push presses, and burpees. And the thing that's different here is you may go, if you start at the box jumps on this, you're going to end with the wall balls, whereas in the API test, you always have to end with the burpees before you get to that minute rest. Thursday, floor press, everybody's favorite, and tough ring rows. And then we've got an 18-minute AMRAP, which is a pretty long AMRAP when you have the strength component beforehand. But balanced workout, all the scaling options make sense here. So before you think about trying to push up to the next level on this, realize what I want you to do for 18 minutes is try to get an extra round in. Between the push-ups and the ab mat sit-ups on this, you get a chance to cool your lungs a little bit, control that heart rate. So you could easily get 6 or 7 rounds in 18 minutes of this, but I'm going to push you to get to that 8th round, even maybe even more. If you can continue to push hard through here, take advantage of those times when you're doing push-ups and ab mat sit-ups to catch your breath. But when you're doing those jumping pull-ups or pull-ups, you're pushing hard through that, staying unbroken, and pushing hard on that shuttle run to keep the intensity fairly high for the entire 18 minutes. Cooling down afterwards with some stretching, and then double under practice for Thursday or Friday. Our confidence workout that day, 3 lots of cardio, just like in CrossFit, but even more work to do. Here you've got 24 minutes of work to do, maintaining a steady pace on the rower. The ring rows and ab mat sit-ups, combination of them puts you at an 8 for the burn factor, but when you're doing the individual ring rows 5 at a time, those are the hardest 5 you can do. When you're doing your 10 ab mat sit-ups, you're trying to get through those as fast as possible. Slam ball, clean, and carry, so picking, thumping up heavy, going and running with it, dropping it, picking it back up, running with it back and forth, maintaining that steady pace there. Banded wall sits with kind of a penalty there, so every time you have to break from the wall, you're doing clamshells on each side and then getting back to that wall, making the most of those 3 minutes. Standing banded hip adduction is kind of the counter to the clamshell. So clamshells will work the outer part of the butt. The hip adduction is going to work the inner thighs. Love this workout on Friday. Very interesting. Starts with a 2,000 meter row buy-in, and then you've got these double under sequences that you got to get through, these unbroken double under sequences. So you got to do 10 unbroken jump ropes, doubles or singles, and then you got to stop. If you don't get 10 unbroken, you got to start over. Once you hit your 10, you stop, and then you do 20 unbroken. Again, if you don't get 20 unbroken, you got to start over. Once you hit your 20, you stop, and then you're going to 30, and then you're working your way back down. No idea how long that's going to take for most people. So you got to keep your composure. You got to have a strategy with that. You can't kill yourself on the road before you get the jump ropes because of that unbroken strategy there. And then you get to finish it out with lots of kettlebell swings. Our extra credit that day will be step-ups, Peterson step-ups, working on that terminal knee extension, that knee health, and banded hamstring curls. Love this Friday HIIT class. So it's a 20-minute AMRAP. At Stanton, you're doing 500-meter rows, 350-meter ski ergs, 1,000-meter bike rides, and then some type of kettlebell swing or kettlebell snatch. In Fishersville, row, slam ball bodybuilders, instead of the ski erg, and run instead of the bike, and still doing kettlebells. So you've got 4 movements here. You may start at either one of these, but you're going to continue to work 20 minutes through this order. So if you start with the run, you're going to go to the kettlebell, then go to the row, and then go to slam ball bodybuilders, and so forth, and keep cycling through that for 20 minutes. The catch is every time you move to the next movement, you have to do some jump rope work before you start the next movement. And so if I started at the run, once I'm done with the run, I have to do 10 unbroken double unders before I can get to my kettlebells. And after I'm done with my kettlebells, I have to do 20 unbroken double unders before I can do my row. And after my row, I've got to do 30 unbroken double unders before I can do my slam ball bodybuilders or ski erg. And I keep doing that sequence, and those double unders or jump ropes keep adding up, 50, 60, 70 unbroken. If they're not unbroken, you got to stop, start over, and get an unbroken set in. All right, I'm really excited about how that's going to work out on Friday. Lift class, heavy thrusters, love doing this. So you're going to work your way down to 2 heavy sets of 2. So the warm-up's kind of going to take care of itself as you go 10, 8, 6, 4. So you may not get your best set of 10 in. That's perfectly fine. Save a little bit in the tank so you get better sets of 2 in at those heavy weights. And then we'll work the lower body with some weighted step-ups on tempo, glute bridges, and core work with the hollows to jackknives, and back to overhead with the kettlebell Z presses where you're sitting on the ground and doing one kettlebell press at a time on one side. Saturday, front squats, 5x5s. Now remember, use this not to get your best set of 5, but to do the best overall work using sets of 5 through this. So you may not get your PR, your best set of 5 here, but you're going to do a ton of work over the course of 5x5 with this. If you didn't test earlier this week on front squat, you could use this day to test if you wanted to record something for that. And then I love this workout, lactic tolerance. So we go, it's going to be miserable, high intensity. You got 10 minutes here. The first part of this 10 minutes, you're going through 3 rounds of lunges, push-ups, and power cleans. Once you get through your 3 rounds, the remaining time is left for thrusters. So you see the goal at the top where it says 20 plus. That's what I'm expecting for the number of thrusters you'll get done through this. So it's going to take 4, 5, 6 minutes to get through the first 3 rounds. And then the remaining time of those heavy thrusters, you're probably going to do 4, 5, 6, 7 at a time, drop the bar, pick it back up, do another set of thrusters, drop it, and try to get your way up and get as many thrusters in for your score that day. Confidence strength portion to end the week. So with that confidence strength, it's a 1 round, 5 minutes of work at just 4 movements with 2 minutes of rest in between. So that's 5 minutes of parasite. You can do this. We've done 4 minutes several times with our confidence test, so you can manage the 5 minutes. Kettlebell sumo deadlift high pull to up down. So kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls for a full 5 minutes is completely unreasonable. Up down for a full 5 minutes would almost have to be unweighted to make that happen. So we are going to do a sumo deadlift high pull to a goblet hold, and then go down to an up down to your knees, stand it back up, kettlebell back to the ground, drive it back up to a goblet hold, and back down to your knees, and back up. And that's how you'll manage that 5 minutes there, which is allow you then going to have some weight and keep it moving the entire 5 minutes. Single arm kettlebell farmer's hold, switching sides as you need to work the entire 5 minutes. And then your strength portion that day is the 7 dumbbell thrusters every minute on the minute for 5 minutes. So when you're at that movement for those 5 minutes, you do your best 7 dumbbell thrusters and then rest. And then the next minute, do your best 7 dumbbell thrusters and rest, and so forth for those 5 minutes. And then the lying external shoulder rotation is going to work on shoulder health, getting that external rotation working for you. All right, can't wait to see you guys in class this week.